are now joining the meeting. Please wait for the leader to admit you to the meeting. Thank you for your patience. are now joining the meeting.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. JD 532254. The Greyson, Moose, and Common Matters. I believe we're here today on matters pertaining to the child Greyson Moose, but it's a little bit unclear. I'll remind anybody who may be observing that Arizona law prohibits you from disclosing any personally identifiable information about anyone involved in this case. And by remaining on this call, you agree to abide by that prohibition. Failure to do so can result in a contempt finding, which can carry jail time and a fine. Daisha, I left my calendar in the office. Can you bring me my calendar, please, real quick? Yes. Thank you. All right, I'm going to ask that the guardian ad litem go ahead and announce their appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mathew Lara, guardian ad litem.
Ms. Martoncik.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Kathleen Martoncik, Assistant Attorney General, appearing on behalf of the Department.
Okay. And Mr. Brill. Do we have Danny Brill on the line? Mr. Kreider.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Brad Kreider, also for Mr. Moose and the most recent filed matter.
Okay. Do we have Mr. Moose on the line? And if so, sir, please state your name.
My name is Stephen Bradley from the Moose family. I'm here on special appearance only.
Okay. Who do I have from DCF?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Marcia Garrett-mhuto for DCF.
Okay.
Elena Hernandez, Marcia's supervisor with DCS.
Okay. Daisha or Daniel, would you please reach out to Mr. Brill and see if he'll be joining us? Thank you. All right, this is the time we have set for a Rule 59 motion. Mr. Moose, Mr. Kreider has, hold on, let me see if that. Hi, who do I have calling in from a 602 number? 370? Hi, who just joined the call?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Danny Brill, guardian ad litem for father.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brill. Okay, Mr. Moose, you were, as a matter of course, we appoint counsel in these cases. Mr. Kreider was appointed for you again in relation to the new baby that was just born this year. Mr. Kreider has indicated he's requested to withdraw as counsel and that you want to represent yourself in that matter involving that child. Are you in agreement with that?
Sort of. I'm not representing myself, but I am here sui juris to answer for any charges.
Okay. Well, do you want an attorney?
I don't.
Assistance of any?
No, I would prefer not to be represented by anybody.
Okay. So I am then Mr. Sonia. Can you please do? Well, Mr. Kreider, you filed before I let you go, Mr. Kreider. You filed a motion as to all three children, so I'm confused.
Yeah, Judge, that was my error. So the motion is as to Greyson. You're correct in the Rule 59 motion and review of your minute entry.
Okay. So, Mr. Kreider, I'm going to, Sonia, would you just be specific in the minute entry that I am going to grant Mr. Kreider's motion to withdraw related to baby Common?
Your Honor, may the department be heard before you grant the motion?
Sure.
The department has routinely objected to the motions to withdraw and Mr. Moose representing himself. I think Mr. Moose has demonstrated over the course of this case that he does not sufficiently understand these proceedings to represent himself, and so the department again puts its objection on the record. To the extent that Mr. Moose is going to represent himself, to the extent that another attorney would be appointed, the department does not object to Mr. Kreider being withdrawing, but there is a concern about Mr. Moose representing himself.
Well, if I recall everything correctly, Mr. Abril is advisory counsel and can be appointed for both cases. If Mr. Moose decides he's not going to avail himself of Mr. Abril, I guess that's his choice, but then at least counsel with privilege attached and whatnot is appointed. So that was going to be what I was planning on doing.
I believe that Mr. Abril is his guardian ad litem, Your Honor, and not advisory counsel.
Oh, okay.
And so the department still has a concern based upon the communications that it has received from Mr. Moose that there is a continuing lack of understanding about what is happening, including the concern that Mr. Moose has expressed that he believed that today was a date to sever his parental rights to his child.
Okay, Mr. Abril, do you recall, I just don't have the information in front of me this moment, are you guardian ad litem or advisory counsel?
Your Honor, I was guardian ad litem in the, when I was first appointed, I was reaffirmed as guardian ad litem in regards to the new child as well, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're for both. All right. With that, Sonia, would you indicate in the minute entry that the Mr. Kreider's motion to withdraw as counsel for Father Moose in relation to the child's comment is granted? Mr. Moose, you went through the process of representing yourself. You had a discussion with a different judge back in March of 2020. I just want to confirm that you understand that if you don't want an attorney involved, then you're going to be held to the same standards as if you were an attorney. Do you understand that, sir?
Well, ma'am, I'm here sui juris that's in my own right. So I'm not a professional lawyer. I'm not here to represent myself. I'm not a professional lawyer, but I do believe that I can get this all cleared up today. So.
Okay. So are you comfortable? You understand, though, that as we proceed, that you do have the right to have an attorney. The good citizens of Arizona are willing to pay for that, and that you're waiving that right, sir?
Yes, I comprehend that.
Okay. And you understand that I don't know whether we'll resolve things today or we won't resolve things today. I don't know. But as we move forward, you would be responsible then for filing matters, essentially handling your own case all the way throughout. You understand that, sir?
I comprehend that.
Okay. And you understand that Mr. Abril has been appointed because I had concerns about your ability to understand where things were going and how this process worked, to represent your best interests as needed, and you can also speak with him. You understand that, sir?
No, I do not want any representation for me.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep Mr. Abril on the case, and if you decide that you're not going to work with him, then you can make that decision, sir.
Okay, I haven't worked with him at all in this entire case, but that's okay. But that's fine.
And Your Honor, this is Brad Kreider. May I be excused from the proceeding?
Well, just one moment, because you filed the motion to represent himself. So, Mr. Moose, Mr. Kreider filed also. He requested to withdraw from the matter, and he also requested that I allow you to proceed on your own. So again, you're in agreement with that, sir, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So Sonia, it is ordered granting Father Moose's expedited motion to represent himself as to baby comments, and I think I know he already does in terms of the other child. So that puts us here today. I want to clarify on the record before you go, Mr. Kreider, the Rule 59 motion that you filed pertains to Greyson Moose, correct? Only? All right. And Mr. Moose, you understand we're here to talk about Greyson and not the other kids?
Absolutely. Yep, that's what I wanted to discuss and get the evidence on is Greyson's case because well, I'll show you guys when it's time.
All right. Well, we'll get there. Sonia, for purposes of today's minute entry, if you would indicate that Father Moose makes an oral motion to amend the Rule 59 motion to pertain to child Greyson Moose only. It is ordered granting Father's oral motion to amend, and we will proceed with respect to Greyson only. Mr. Moose, Mr. Kreider, you can go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Moose, this motion was filed. I don't know who's calling in late. Hold on. Hi, who's calling in from a 341 number? All right, I think we have everybody we need on the line. Mr. Moose?
Yes.
Are you going to call any witnesses to testify on your behalf for this hearing?
No. But okay. Well, except for there's a list of witnesses that Kathleen has on here. Are those going to be questioned on the stand?
I don't think those are witnesses, sir. If my understanding is that there's a list of exhibits.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be referring to those exhibits.
Okay, so you're in agreement then that we'll admit exhibits 1 through 6, sir?
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Brill, I'll just allow that if you feel the need to speak up, go ahead. I won't call on you separately. Okay? All right. So, Sonia, exhibits 1 through 6 are admitted. And Mr. Moose, this is your request. Understand that under this particular phase of what we're doing here today, the burden of proof is preponderance of the evidence, and the burden of proof is on you at this particular juncture as to Greyson, returning Greyson to your care.
Okay.
So, sir, are you going to call any witnesses, or do you just want to tell me?
I'm just going to be referring to the documents.
Okay. So when we've talked in the past, at times you've gotten incredibly disruptive. I would ask that you not do that because I want to hear what you have to say.
I understand.
I would ask that you talk a little bit slowly, sir, because I'm trying to take notes and I type them out. And if you're going back and forth too quickly, I can't follow.
Okay.
So I may have to stop you, interrupt to ask that you slow down. Sir, what is it that you want me to know?
Okay. Well, I first want to start off saying that all these other charges against me that are on the record of this case. This was all done under duress, and Arizona's duress law is, I'll read it right here, conduct which would otherwise constitute an offense is justified.
Objection, Your Honor, relevant.
Is justified.
Okay, so sir, again, I need you to clarify. When you say all the charges against me are under duress, what charges are you talking about?
I'm talking about all the accusations of my conduct from after Greyson was taken. So Kathleen has piled a lot of evidence on the case of my conduct of after they've taken Greyson from me. So I just wanted to clear that up real quick.
Okay, but I need you to be a little bit more specific. So go ahead.
Okay, I just want to read Arizona duress law real quick. It's very short. It says conduct which would otherwise constitute an offense is justified if a reasonable person would believe that he was compelled to engage in the prescribed conduct by the threat or use of immediate physical force against his person or the person of another, which resulted or could result in serious physical injury, which is reasonable person in the situation would not have resisted. So with all the injuries that my son has had, and there's in the hospital reports, his flat head, his sunburn, and all this, I was under duress because my son was being hurt, and so the physical injury here. So this explains my erratic behavior after the kidnapping of my son. But then I want to get to the kidnapping, though.
Hold on. Okay, hold on 1 second.
All right.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So right here, Ronda Christephore's affidavit that she filed to take my son. I want to compare that with the hospital, the official hospital records, and I just want to show the court whether these two documents go along with each other, or do they conflict each other.
And are you talking about Exhibit 3, which is the Arrowhead medical records?
Yes, that's correct. With Brittany and Greyson.
Okay, and what page are you looking at, sir, when you're trying to make this comparison?
I got a few of them here, and I will name the page as I go. So,
okay.
Let's see here. All right, one second. So just take a minute here. Okay, on page right here on page 296 of 326, it says did the parent bond with the newborn, and that says that it has been met. In Ronda Christephore's affidavit, she says it is unclear if the parents were bonding with the child, and in all these documents,
Sir,
yes.
You don't understand. I'm trying to follow you here, and I've got to flip through pages and
Oh, okay.
as well.
I'm sorry.
Slow down. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm on page 326 of Exhibit 3.
Okay, and if you go down below disciplinary care plans to the first box, it'll about midway it says bond with newborn postpartum goal, and that goal has been met.
Are you sure you're talking about page 326?
Or no,
Your Honor,
no,
you're referring to page 296.
296.
Okay. Let me get there.
All right.
Your Honor, it's date stamped as DCS 297.
All right, sir, does he have date stamp copies, Ms. Martoncik?
He does, Your Honor, but I don't know if that's what he's referring to.
Okay, so
We were emailed to him.
Mr. Moose, if you look at the very, very bottom right-hand corner of all of these documents,
Yeah.
you'll see it says DCS and then it has a number with 2 zeros on it.
The document I have, it says report request ID 306-727-423.
Okay. So if you look further down,
Yeah.
in the right-hand corner, is there a stamp that says DCS 00297?
No, it does
on the very
not.
corner of the page?
No, it does not.
And Your Honor, for father's clarity, in order to find that number, he will have to refer to the ones that I sent him
Okay.
in the last few days.
Let me see if I can pull that up, because it'll have the same exact records, but it will be on a different page, I guess. I don't know why mine is different than those.
Oh, because they stamped them and sent them to you. So we go by that number in the corner, and that'll just be easier, sir, for the record and for the court. If you can pull that up, let me know when you have that, okay? We'll wait a moment.
All right. Let's see here. I believe it's right here. Let me open that. It's going to be a little
And
harder.
sir, if you have a difficult time finding it, I can resend it right now, so it's at the top of your email.
I think I got it right here. Let's see if this is the right one. Yeah, I think I got it right here. But it's just kind of hard to see on the phone. I had it printed out. But yeah, okay, so... all right. Wait, is that 2 of 3, 26? See, it's the same amount of pages. Wait.
Your Honor, if the court would like, I can provide the date stamp number for the pages fathers providing.
All right. So, sir, I'm looking and it says the hospital said that goal was met. I see that.
Okay, and then so now we're going to go down to the next box, and I want to show that it says postpartum complications goal met, understands self-care met, understands infant care met, bond with newborn met. Okay, and then from there I want to turn the page and go to the next page, and here it says bond with newborn met in that box. Then we're going to go to the next page, and it says father of baby involved, yes. Support person involvement, supportive and involved. And then go down a little, it says support person with patient. And then if you go down to the notes there, it says the third note down, it'll say the support person interaction with the care team is appropriate. He appropriately interacts with the healthcare team. I want to show that because Ronda Christephore put in her thing that the hospital staff said I was aggressive and angry. She refers to hospital staff with all these false claims that she made. So I want to show that there's nothing in these hospital records to say that I was being aggressive or any kind of way, except for very supportive and I was acting appropriately, and that's the only thing that these records show. It also shows we were bonding, and but anyway, so we're going to turn the page, and we're going to go down to the footnotes below the first square.
Let me make sure we're on the same page here.
Okay.
What page are you looking at?
Well, on mine it says 227, but it says assessment, gynecology, obs. I can't read that. Gynecology, and there's
200.
Yeah, if you could tell her the page, if you know what page I'm on.
I'm trying to locate it at this point in time.
I turned one page from the last one. From the very last page we were on, I just turned one page.
Your pages are not matching up with mine, sir. I apologize. I find 227.
Tell me again what it says. It says page what out of 326?
Mine says page 227. Oh wait. Oh, this is what's this is why I forgot. I only have printed out the ones that I needed. So this is 277 out of 326. Sorry about that. I'm just nervous. So my page is 277.
Okay. So that is Exhibit 3. So the record is clear. That's Exhibit 3 at page DCS 278. All right. Go ahead, sir. What is it that you wanted me to know about that?
Okay. If you go down to the footnotes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 footnotes. We're going to read the last 2. And it says the support person, and that's them. This is where they refer to me, coping with postpartum. He copes with stresses of postpartum, newborn care. And then the next one, it says appropriately interacts with healthcare team. It says again, I appropriately interact with the healthcare team. And so now we're going to go, we're going to turn the page over to 276. Okay, yeah, so I guess we go back a page. I got these a little bit messed up, but and
Okay, again, sir, slow down.
Sorry.
For the record, that's Exhibit 3. That's Exhibit 3, page 277 on the base number. Okay, go ahead.
here it's going to show that bonding is observed and feeding the infant, and then we're going to go down toward the bottom, and again it references me, and it says support person involvement, supportive, and involved, and then support person coping. See below. Let's see, support person with patient. Okay, and that's what everything for that page. And now we're going to go to 275. I don't know why it's going backwards. Yeah, so now I have these in backwards, just these three. But anyway, now I'm on 275. If we could turn to page 275.
Okay, so for the record, that's Exhibit 3, base label DCS 276.
All right. Are you guys ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Now we're going to be in that first box there, and it's going to say support person involvement, supportive, and involved. Support person interaction with care team. See below. Support person with patient. So we're going to go down here, and it says, let's see. It's going to say support person coping. He copes with stresses of labor and delivery. Support person coping postpartum. He copes with stresses and postpartum newborn care. Support person interaction with care team, appropriately interacts with the healthcare team. So again, it says that I acted appropriately at the hospital, and nowhere does it say, nowhere does these records show that Ronda's claims were true, because there's no record of any of her claims except for on her writing. That all the doctors and the nurses made no claims on my behavior whatsoever. And so now we're going to go over to page 273. Okay. Let me know when you're there.
So that is Exhibit 3, page 274, base label 274. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So now it says assessment, and we go down to the first box, and it's going to say support person involvement, supportive, and involved. We go down a little further, support person with patient, and then now we're going to go to the footnotes. And the footnotes here, the last three, are going to say support person coping, copes with stresses of labor and delivery. And it's going to say support person coping with postpartum, copes with stresses of postpartum newborn care. Support person interaction with the care team, and again it says appropriately interacts with the healthcare team. And so
okay, so sir,
yep.
So is that all for that particular page?
Yes, that's all for that page there.
Okay, so I'm getting the sense, and they must take this assessment throughout the labor process. Instead of going through each page that say the same thing, why don't you just give me a list of the page numbers, and I will look at them so we don't have to read the same thing over and over again? Is that...
Man, with all respect, I just feel like I've been ignored on a lot of stuff I'd say, and I'm just trying to be very thorough, because this is my son.
Okay.
This is my son we're talking about, and this is my fight to save him from foster care. And I'm just trying to be very thorough so we all know, and we're all very clear that what is written in this document here.
Go ahead.
And so now we're going to flip over to page 251 of 326. This is a different. This ain't the same. This isn't the same thing again. This is another whole new fresh point. So, if we could, let me know when you're ready.
So that would be all right. So that's Exhibit 3, page 252, on the base number. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, Ronda Christephore, when she took my son from the hospital, she claimed he was having tremors and respiratory distress and substance exposure. She used that as the reason to take my son. And I just want to show that the hospital records do not reflect that whatsoever. In fact, they say the exact opposite. And so we're on page 251, and we're going to go down. It says physical assessment with normal limit definitions, and we're going to go down to where it says newborn on that first section. And we're going to read the condition of the newborn. Some of these words I don't know how to say. I'm not educated with all these big words, but I'm going to do my best to read them. So it's going to say, okay, I don't know that first word, but soft and flat, sutures approximated, no edema or swelling, eyes clear and bright, pupils equal and reactive, normal ear placement, canals present, response to sounds, nares patient bilaterally, normal shape and midline placement, no abnormalities of mouth and throat. And I also want to point out that my son's head is severely deformed now, but this hospital record is going to show that he had a perfectly round head before he went to foster care. And that's why I've been under duress and I've been acting erratically, because my son has been being tortured, or he's been had many injuries in the foster care, and so this is why I'm under duress. But now we're going to go down to the next section, and we're going to read the newborn. And under newborn it says he's awake, he's alert, he's easily aroused from sleep, he responds to stimuli, normal tone, reflexes present, lusty cry, and normal pitch. So again, it doesn't say nothing about tremors or respiratory distress. So now we're going to go down to the next section. We're going to read the newborn, and it's going to say clear and equal breath. So she said respiratory distress, but here the licensed doctors say he has clear and equal breath, sounds bilaterally with good air entry, respirations even and unlabored, chest symmetrical. So again, it says my son was in perfect shape, and it shows that Ronda Christephore lied in her affidavit. So now we're going to go over to page 252, and let me know when you're ready.
Okay, give me a second. I need to catch up, sir. Okay, and I'm sorry, what was that page number again?
It's going to be 252.
All right, and so for the record, that's Exhibit 3, page DCS 253. All right, sir. What about that page?
Okay, we're gonna go to the first section there, and we're gonna read the part of the newborn, and it's gonna say his heart rate is regular with absence of murmur, peripheral pulses present, and equal bilaterally capillary refill less than 3 seconds. Again, there's no mention of any kind of substance exposed issues or respiratory distress or tremors. And now we're going to go to the next section. We're going to read the newborn part, and it says abdomen slightly round, soft and symmetrical, positive bowel sounds in all 4 quadrants, anus visible and patent. And so now we're gonna go down to the next one, and we're gonna read the newborn notes. And it says voiding clear yellow urine, normal genitalia without discharge, test descended in male infants. Or I think I read that right. And that's everything for that page.
Okay.
And so now we're gonna turn over to page 253, and let me know when you're ready.
And that would be Exhibit 3 at page DCS 254. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, and here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to the first one, and we're going to read the newborn notes, and it says he's normal appearance of hands and feet, equal movement of arms and legs, absence of hip click, and clavicles intact. Then we're going to go down to the next section, and it's going to say at the newborn, it's going to say skin warm, dry, intact, mucous membranes, pink and moist, umbilicals without redness or drainage, and 3 vessels present. So again, there's no mention of tremors or respiratory distress by any of the licensed physicians on the scene at the hospital. Only the caseworker who is not licensed to make those claims. All right, and then let me see what I got next for you. 1 second. Okay, so let's see here. One second. Okay, so here I have Ronda's the document she used on March 5th of 2020. This is her statement of what she saw at the hospital.
Is that okay? Hold on. Is that an exhibit, sir?
Well, this is on the case record. This is on the case record, and if you guys don't have it, I'm just going to read it. It's a short paragraph, so I can wait.
Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Let me see if I can find it. Pull it up on my computer here, but it's going to take me a minute. Just
okay, no problem at all.
Ms. Martoncik, would that be attached to the actual petition?
Your Honor, I do believe so. I think that's what Bob is referring to. And
I'm
objecting to relevance.
I'm referring to the application and declaration for ex parte removal of the child. Is what I'm showing is that I'm showing that what she said on to take my child was false, and this was an intentional lie.
Sir.
Yep.
Sir, I know why you're trying to do it. I'm trying to see so I can read along.
Well, I was just saying.
Okay.
I referred that to what Kathleen just said. She said she didn't think it was relevant.
Okay, well, her objection's overruled. I'm just trying to make sure because I know we have
The timestamp on this is 3:20 on May 5th of 2020, if that helps.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I was looking at the petition for Sophia, so I just need to pull up the right
Oh,
thing.
okay, no problem.
Okay, so I'm looking at what says application and declaration for ex parte removal.
Okay.
I'm with you there.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read this out loud. And we just went over the hospital records, and I want to read this, what she said when she got to the hospital. This is her statement. So it says, probable cause exists to believe that temporary custody is clearly necessary to protect the child from suffering abuse and neglect, and it is contrary to the child's welfare to remain in the home. Specifically, baby boy Roberts was substance exposed to marijuana, and mother tested positive for marijuana and amphetamine at her prenatal visit in February of this year. Upon delivery, mother tested positive for marijuana. Baby boy Robert's meconium has not come back. but child is having withdrawals by evidenced by tremors per hospital staff and was observed by DCS as well. Mother admitted to using methamphetamine within 2 months ago, along with marijuana and tobacco. Stephen, the father, was observed as being hostile and combative, and the hospital records do not reflect that whatsoever. Being hostile and combative with the hospital staff and DCS. Father was observed having tremors, shaking, and extremely loud voice, and prompted the hospital security to monitor the environment interaction with DCS. Father was asked to do a rule-out drug test, and he refused, stating that he did not trust DCS for a report that he had several years ago that required DCS to take custody of his child. Mother is current has open DCS case with her daughter Sophia that is currently in DCS care due to finding on her and the father of that child. Real quick, the finding was only on, when you guys took Sophia, it was only on the father. It was not on the mother. She was the one who called you guys. So let me keep going here. With her daughter, Sophia Robson is currently in DCS care due to finding on her and the father to the child. Baby boy is currently in the NICU for respiratory distress, and nowhere in there did we see that. Mother currently states that she will be living with the father on baby boy, but does not have all of the essential things to take the child home, and the father is refusing to allow DCS to inspect the home. Father is very aggressive to DCS and hospital staff at Abrazo Arrowhead. The hospital is requiring the police or hospital security to be present when father is present. And the police actually arrived with Ronda Christephore to assist her. They weren't there because of me. The police were not there because of me. They came with her. So mother has had several cases open with DCS, but was unable to locate her whereabouts. That was reported with her using cocaine, meth, drugs. Mother is hostile as well with DCS due to her drug usage. Mother reported that she was previously enrolled substance abuse treatment program that is to believe to be through TREASON, but did not complete the full program, and mother did not give a reason why she stopped the program. And I do want to say she had a job and she was doing the program when you guys took her visitations from Sophia away. She didn't see her daughter for a year at least, and that was when she quit doing the classes, was when you guys took her daughter away for something that the father did. So she was doing her classes, and she had a job at a restaurant. She was waitressing up until her visitations got cut with her daughter. And I don't know if you guys have ever had your kids taken away, but it sends you into depression. And when her visits got cut, she could barely get out of bed, let alone go to all these classes. So, but my point here is, and then it says right here, I, Ronda Christephore, declare under penalty of perjury that this information contained within this application and declaration is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. But as I just showed the court, what she said in hers does not reflect these official hospital records that were recorded by the licensed physicians. And so she went ahead and just made up whatever she wanted and took my son and took my son into custody when we had not done anything wrong. And so I want to let the court know that I have been under duress, and I'm not, and I know I've been very combative with you guys, but I've been trying to get this whole entire time for over a year now. I've been trying to explain that he was taken under false reasons, and that it was fraud on this document, and nobody was listening to me, and then my son was getting all these injuries, and every time he got an injury, and I'm fearing for his life, and so I apologize for being combative. I'm not trying to be at war with you guys. I'm a very protective and loving father, and I'm a very good dad. I raised my oldest by myself with no help, and he still lives right down the road, and he works with me every day. And we have hundreds of reviews on both of us, our characters, and all of our customers love us. They always tell me how good of a job I did raising my son. All my customers do, and it reflects that in my reviews. Now, here's another thing I want to point out is so Ronda Christephore is saying that I would not cooperate with her, and that was the reason why she wanted to take the baby from me, is because I didn't let her see the house. And so I just want to refer to DCS's. This is the DCS website, and it says parents' rights. It says DCS has no legal authority to compel the parent, guardian, or custodian to cooperate with the investigation or to receive services. And then if you go down a little bit, refusal to cooperate in the investigation or to participate in services offered does not constitute grounds for removing a child, unless temporary custody is clearly necessary to prevent the child from suffering abuse and neglect. The person's refusal to cooperate with the investigation or participation in services offered does not in itself constitute grounds for temporary custody. Parents have the right to respond to the allegation. Oh, okay, and there's that. Now, these last two, I want to show that everything I filed on the record, although I didn't serve this all to all the parties, it says in DCS's own policy that parents have the right to respond to the allegations verbally or in writing, including providing information, and to have the information considered in determining whether the child needs protective services. Anything the person says or writes can be used in the court proceeding. Any written response, including any documents, will be included in the case record. Any information provided in response to the allegations will be considered during the investigation. So although I don't know all the rules of the court, as a parent, everything that I've written on this case and I've filed with the court, that does count, because right here it says anything I write or reply to or say will be considered in the court record. This is DCS's own policy. I pulled it right off their own website. So with this being said, I want the evidentiary hearing. I would like to hear the department prove the facts and the reasons why they took my son in the first place. They have a big case against me after they took my son, but they don't have anything on the record before they took my son. And as you know, because they filed it, 12 years ago, my son was taken away from me. I was in Kansas and he was in Tucson. He was taken away, and I worked with the department to try to get. They said they were going to send him to me. They waited till the last court date, and then they severed my rights, and it's caused me so much pain for the last 12 years, and so I have PTSD from this, and this is why this case gets me so shaky and so upset, because I can't allow this to happen to another one of my children. And I have been back in touch with my son Josh, and he tells me about he was raped, he was abused, his brother was raped and abused, and this all happened in foster care. And now Greyson has already had a flat head, a sunburn. He's had injuries that look like he's been sexually abused. I'm not going to say that that's what it is, but the skin was rubbed off around his little bottom, and that was the day I got that DUI, because I called the FBI, I called the police, and everybody told me that they don't do nothing for CPS, and they didn't even go look at my son's injury. And so I'm not saying that's a reason to get a DUI, but it sent me into a very bad place, and I've been under duress throughout this entire case. And so I just want the department to prove that they had the right to take my son from the hospital with these documents that they filed on the record.
Okay, sir. Let me first just say this is much better than the way you've conducted yourself in the past, which has allowed me to listen to what you have to say and look at everything. So thank you for that. I don't know what the outcome of today is going to be, but it is much easier for you and better for the case and for all of us to be able to sort through this in a calm and rational manner.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And thus far, you have not done that.
Well,
And so,
ma'am,
it's
ma'am, can I
really
reply to that? Can I reply to that? Because in the beginning of this case, I was acting appropriately, but after months and months and months, and I was ignored, and nobody would listen to me, and everything I filed did not get considered, and then that's when I started getting angry.